The next part of this is how they are going to use their radical positions to govern over us. I mean, the irony is, again, this decision put more power back in individual people and states' hands. But they are not really into that. They like when everything is controlled from something above us. Here is Vice President Kamala Harris trying to figure out how they can fund abortion no matter what.
And what about the idea of financial resources, some form of voucher for travel, childcare services, other forms of support for people, for women seeking abortions in states where it's not legal, but they just don't have the means to go elsewhere?
I think you're asking a very important point, making a very important point, which is what are the details that are going to go into ensuring that women have the ability to actually travel without impairment. And we know that on this issue, women who have access to resources will probably be far less impacted by this decision than women who don't have resources. So this is something that we are looking at.
Okay, so what's interesting, so it's something we are looking at. Now, if the federal government is not in charge of abortion, but then the federal government decides to fund people having abortions, it seems like we have a problem there, right? Why should your federal tax dollars go to fund someone else's abortion? As I have said repeatedly, if California and New York and all the rich celebrities that live there want to fund abortions, if all the Democrats want to have abortion parties and abortion fundraisers so they can get all these black and brown girls to come from these scary red states and have abortions, and then maybe you get a cookie after, and then we send you back, then I guess so be it, right? Because I am a states' rights person. If individual people in certain states want to raise money for other people to come to their states to have abortions, that's one thing. But now that the Supreme Court of the United States has said this has nothing to do with the federal government, I don't see how the federal government can use a dime of anyone's money to move people to have abortions in states that will keep abortion legally. Now, interestingly also, let's contrast that with that video that I showed you earlier of Joe Biden in 1988. Keep government out of abortion. So it seems that Joe Biden of 1988 is at very strange odds with Joe Biden of 2022, and certainly with Kamala Harris of 2022. His own Health and Human Services Secretary, Xavier Becerra, is also trying to figure out ways that they can make sure that people are going to still have abortions.
How about the suggestion that's been floated by Senator Elizabeth Warren about carving out federal lands for abortion providers? Is that possible?
There are a number of conversations on any number of options that can be out there. We will certainly take a close look, as we made a commitment some time ago, months ago, as we were planning for whatever might come from the Supreme Court. We will take a look at every option to make sure a woman has access to the care that she needs.
Have you looked at that?
We're not prepared to say what that means. Yeah, all those things have been put on the table.
Man, I mean, I don't know how you can describe this thing as anything other than a death cult. Again, that's within the context of you knowing what my feelings on abortion are, right? Knowing that there has to be some wiggle room there. And of course, the right to privacy and individual rights are important and all of those things. But these people want federal lands. We will have these special federal lands where we will pay people to come and have 7-month abortions. Like, it really is psychotic. That is what is so important to them. It is so important that the state should have nothing to do with a woman's right to make medical decisions. The same freaking people, the same people that just weeks ago wanted everybody to be injected with their experimental vaccine, right, that didn't even work. That's what we are up against right now. It's off the charts hypocrisy, and it's just so in your face. It's so brazen. It's so in your face that it's actually hard to believe. And what it's really showing you is that they actually hate representative democracy. They hate that this experiment allows for people to live differently. They're pretending that all of us on the scary right, or whatever you want to call it, are demanding that everyone bow to their religion and everything else, when in fact they're just giving power back. They're decentralizing power.